On this episode of Proactively Prep, we're putting 3 guns up against each other. The Sig p365, the Kahr CW9, and the Glock 43. So stick around. Sweet. Hey everybody, welcome back to Proactively Prepped. Today we are out here on the range at Sentinel Firearms Range, owned by Russ Richards. If you're in the southeast Wisconsin area and need some training, make sure to look them up at sentinelfirearmstraining.com. Today we're here to do a comparison of 3 guns. We're going to look at the Sig Saur p365. My particular sample has a born-on date of January of 2019. I know there's been a lot of controversy between the gun since last year at SHOT Show when it was released, but it seems as though they've worked out the bugs. And we're also going to look at the Kahr CW9. For whatever reason, this gun is often overlooked in comparisons. I like it. I think it's a great gun. So since I have it and it's close enough in size, I will throw it in for your consideration. And we'll also look at the Glock 43 briefly so that we can round out with a nice trio of comparisons. So we'll start now shooting the Sig p365 and let you see how it does. Now we'll move on to the pinky extension. 10 rounds. I gotta tell you, I heard that this was snappier than the Glock 43, and I disagree. I think it's much more controllable. In fact, the Glock 43, that was one of my main problems. I can never quite feel like I had a good grip on it unless I had the +2 extension mag. So here we go, second mag. Man, I love this gun. This front sight, so easy to pick up, so easy. Sweet. So sweet. Alright, since we have the man himself on the range today, I'll let Russ take a gander at the Sig p365 and give you his initial impressions. Now, he has not fired this gun before previously, correct?
Nope, never before.
Okay, and he is running the 12-round extended magazine, so he's getting a full grip. Alright, Russ, whenever you're ready.
With the slide lock, and I still have, a round in the, what have I done?
Perhaps you caught the slide.
I must have hit the slide release lever.
Could have been pushing it up. All right. All right, there it is. The lock.
All right, there it worked good.
All right. Well,
wow, I do like this gun for a single stack 9.
Yeah.
This is something. Something I can control with my weak old hands. I can control this single stack 9 pretty well.
There you go. So it's a gun for even the senior citizens.
Senior friendly.
There you go. Senior. All right, so that was a Sig P365. We're going to move on now to the Kahr CW9. This is a 7+1 gun, double action only, 9mm. I like this gun too, so I'll show you what it can do. Ooh. Okay, so next we'll take a look at the Glock 43. Now, I've owned this pistol for a few years. I like it, but it has its limitations and I never quite feel like I have a full grip on this. My wife has this firearm and she likes it just fine. This is actually hers today, so here we go. My big thumbs. It goes empty and I keep it from going to slide lock. All right, let me try to correct that, be a little more mindful. Now I'm running a Hy-Vee +2, so we've got 8 rounds in this magazine. Man, lock back on that, cut my thumb out of the way. 8 rounds goes really fast. Glock 43. So now we're going to do a basic accuracy test, and because the Kahr CW9's magazine capacity is the least in the current configuration that I have, I will do 7 rounds, which is the minimum amount that all the firearms will fit in the magazine. So I will do the Sig P365 in the center A zone. Next I will move to the Kahr CW9 and I'll move up to that intermittent area between the top of the shoulders and the B circle, and then finally I will round it off with the Glock 43 and try to do a consistent group in the head. So we will do that consecutively, beginning with the Sig P365, and this is at 10 yards standing. Seven. My first few were low. This is a combat site, and so I have to cover up that A-ring in order to get shots in the center where I want them. Learning curve. Okay, next we'll do 7 rounds standing 10 yards with the Kahr CW9. Wow. Look at that. If not that, had that happen before. Interesting. We'll go ahead and load it, continue on. Not sure what happened there. Could have been me. Now we'll move on to the Glock 43. Here we go, 7 shots, 10 yards. I think it's safe to say that I like the Sig P365 the best, mostly because I shoot it the best. It seems to fit my hand the best out of all these smaller pistols, even though it's the smallest of the 3. I like the trigger on the Glock 43, but that's because I'm used to a Glock trigger. I do like the Sig 365 trigger as well. It's got a very short and crisp reset, and once I remembered to cover that A-zone with the front dot, I was able to get rounds right into the center where I wanted them. Feels like I have the best grip. It's got the best capacity right from the factory without doing any modifications. It's got a nice trigger. It's been reliable through 450 rounds now and going. No malfunctions of any kind, no failure to go into battery, nothing like that. The magazine's drop free. It comes factory with night sights. You can get the 12-round extended mag. All around, I'm quite impressed with that gun. I definitely favor it over the others. I was a Glock 43 carrier for a while, but it just never felt like one in my hand. So for what it's worth, as a not professional shooter, consider these firearms if you're making a purchase soon for a concealed carry option. And look closely at the Sig P365. I believe that Sig has done a good job fixing the problems. They should have withheld it from market until the problems were fixed in the first place, but nonetheless, they have made all the improvements necessary over the first year of growing pains, and coming from a new 2019 production model, it seems like it's good to go. My opinion is that the Sig P365 is the winner as of right now, but you know how innovation goes, it's going to spur along the rest of the companies, so it'll be exciting to see what they come out with to compete this time next year. This important picture really highlights the Sig 365 and how it stands out from among the crowd. It is a 10-round magazine as opposed to the 7-round magazine that the Glock 43 has with the +1 base pad. This is another important area to look at. This is where the Sig P365 stands out, because not only is it shorter in its grip length, but because it has a shallower grip angle, it is ultra concealable in comparison to the other two. All of these firearms are wonderful firearms, but the Sig P365 and its engineering and design is just incredible. From the capacity to the standard night sights to the ultra concealability and the shallow grip angle, this firearm stands out among its competitors. Now, it's true that time will still tell whether this pistol is reliable as its Glock counterpart, but in my experience thus far, it has been 100% reliable with different types of ammunition and different circumstances. The trigger itself is very controllable, crisp, and tactile, which I enjoy very much. For a stock pistol, this has got a great trigger, and I would not hesitate to purchase it for yourself. Until we meet again, folks, be sober, be vigilant, and above all else, steward well the things that God has placed in your care. We'll see you later. If you liked the video, please be sure to like and subscribe. Click that bell notification, most importantly, so you know every time I put out a new video. See ya.